Welcome back to namely 90s. This is your co-pilot speaking. We are gonna be doing a solo episode this week. It's unfortunate, but Andrew has to take care of his child, and I'm just gonna riff a little bit while see if he comes back.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram and Twitter at namely90s with a 90s. This show is also released every Monday on YouTube at namely90s.com/YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s and join one of our support levels. And has Brandon's Zoom frozen or has Brandon frozen?
Brandon was frozen. Did it work? Did I trick you?
I could see. I feel like I saw your eye twitching or something.
Damn it. Yeah, I felt it. I was like, I need to close my eyes soon.
That's too good. Too good. Anyway, well, how have you been?
Not bad. Good. You know, it's starting to get cold and rain here, so we're taking in the last bit of fruit for harvest this week. Big day tomorrow, so good thing we're recording this and another episode late at night.
The harvest.
Yeah. Not much new with me. Did you see the thing about Nintendo?
I did not. Tell me about this.
Last week. So 2 weeks ago now for our listeners. They actually it was earlier in the month. They announced that they're adding on to Nintendo Online, and you pay $30 extra dollars per year, and you get access to N64 virtual console games.
Oh yeah, I figured that was coming soon.
Yeah.
I saw some sort of like sketchy, probably not real gameplay of the new GTA trilogy as well.
Oh yes. I've not seen anything official yet, but
it seemed like a bad mod in GTA 5. That's what it looks like. But they were trying to bill it as like real gameplay footage, which is just them trying to get views.
But the big thing about this is they're re-releasing a N64 controller for the Switch.
Oh yeah!
So the next time you and Kayla come down, we could play Mario Kart 64 properly.
Brilliant,
right?
Love it. And then I can become enraged because I can't win.
and then throw the controller against the wall.
Yes,
it.
Precisely.
To be fair, it won't be as like broken as the copy that's on my Wii is, since we'll have to now beat the game again.
That's all right. We can do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I personally have been somewhat underwhelmed by the Seattle Kraken start.
Oh yeah, I believe I'm a New Jersey Devils fan now.
No, I think they just got to work out some kinks. Their regular backup goalie got put on the IR, so they called up this guy, and he wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't necessarily his fault, but just some tweaks need to be made. But by the time this is released, they'll have played their first game in what I now call the Pledge. Because they play in Lemon Pledge Arena. I mean, Climate Pledge Arena.
It sounds as cool as people that called Safeco Field the Safe.
The Pledge. But yeah, it was, I think I told you, Foo Fighters and what's the other one?
Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for Cutie, both local bands, small, independent local bands. are playing a small private event for 18,000 people. And then Coldplay opens it up on the 22nd live on Amazon.
I mean, are Foo Fighters technically considered local, given like everyone but Dave Grohl is from California?
Fair enough.
Or is that right? I feel like that's right.
I think it's funny that they play a song about mental illness as the Kraken goal celebration song.
Well, watching the game today, like they had every single cliche like fighting song. Like there's a theme from Punch Out at one point. I was
well, it is New Jersey. I feel like in New Jersey, you just like clock a guy, if he gets in your grill.
It went from why can't we be friends to like some sort of like Dropkick Murphys or something. I'm like, what?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Anyway, hockey, man. Hockey. I feel like we're going to talk about that in this episode a little.
Possibly.
Anything else before we jump into the old regularly scheduled programming? Oh my gosh.
No.
Just watch or listen to me try to say regularly a few more times.
Yeah.
Regularly.
I don't know. Anything new with you that you want to share?
No, not really. I've got my new microphone back. I've got all my stuff set up. I realized I'm an idiot and I had like 2 inputs from my computer going into the mixer and it was causing some feedback. And then I got rid of that. Now it's brilliant.
Nice. Brilliant. British.
Yes. Sorry if you see me checking off to my right periodically. It's because I'm currently flying from Memphis to Spokane on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I have to make sure I'm not about to crash into another plane or that my flight level hasn't changed. So, sorry.
Editor, zoom in on his control panel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, now I think we should begin. So why don't you tell us about what was going on in October of 1993?
Travel back with me, listeners, to October 1993 on the first ESPN2 debuts. That's
ESPN 8, The Ocho. I just found that funny.
On the 6th, Michael Jordan announces retirement from the Chicago Bulls and the NBA after 9 seasons and 3 championships.
Aw. We need to have... You know what we need to have? You know how like they have the 90s audience, sounds of the studio audience, where there's the aw, like when the whole audience goes aw, or there's when something kind of racy happens, they kind of hoop and holler.
Ooh.
Yeah, we need to get those in a soundboard, or you just add them later.
Yeah, or you put it on your soundboard.
Yeah.
We're now arguing over which one of us has to do the extra legwork here. Yeah. Eventually, Michael Jordan returns in 1995. On the 8th, Howard Stern releases his first book, Private Parts.
Sounds about right.
Also on the 8th, Angus T. Jones, I believe he's the half of the 2.5 Men. He's born.
That's very strange. Because we just the hockey team, my local hockey team that I'm a fan of in Everett.
Go Thunderbirds.
No.
Go.
They just hired a new broadcaster because their broadcaster now works for the Kraken, and he's not very old. He's like 26. He looks quite young, but he's quite good. Anyway, people have been like putting him side by side with pictures of Angus T. Jones because they look very, very similar. Okay. And I literally just looked at a Facebook post about Angus T. Jones before we came on and did this podcast. That's very weird.
It's as if I knew. Maybe they're brothers. On the 13th, the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim win their first NHL game. Also on the 13th, Tiffany Trump is born. She was the daughter of Marla Maples.
Miss Marple? What? Oh, sorry. No.
On the 15th, Nelson Mandela is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. On the 23rd, the Toronto Blue Jays defend their...
Not the St. Louis Blues in the World Series?
Possibly not. The Toronto Blue Jays defend their World Series title against the Philadelphia Phillies on a walk-off home run in Game 6.
Wait, so the Blue Jays won 2 in a row?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh, crap.
And how many World Series titles do the Seattle Mariners have?
Not enough.
None. How many World Series games have we been to?
I don't want to talk about it.
On the 26th, the NFL expansion team, the Carolina Panthers, is announced. On the 29th, the first Got Milk commercial airs.
Wow.
And finally, on the 31st, Letitia Wright, English actress, Black Panther, is born in Guyana, although currently she's kind of a racy character because she's refusing. Well, she's being anti-vax on the set of Black Panther 2. And passing out anti-vax pamphlets. And also on the 31st, Federico Fellini, director, and River Phoenix from Stand By Me passes away at the age of 73 and 23. One to a stroke and one to a drug overdose. I'll let you figure all that out for yourself.
Wait, so what you're saying is she's an anti-vaxxer, and then she's literally handing out something that would more easily transmit the virus. Like, have this fomite. Thank you. Hope you get COVID. Bye. Okay.
Yeah. Here's some just liquid COVID for me to place on you. TV premiering October 1993. On the 3rd, we have Late Edition with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. On the 25th, we have The Jon Stewart Show on MTV. On the 29th, we have Diagnosis Murder on CBS.
Or as you spelled it, Diagnosis Murder, which I would watch. It's Diagnosis Murder, but she has a stutter.
I was about to say, I have a stutter. Also ending the October 1993. On the 1st, we have the Chevy Chase Show after its illustrious 1 month run.
Yeah, it'd be great if it all happened in 1 month. You could say premiering the Chevy Chase Show and ending the Chevy Chase Show.
I think it started in October. On the 23rd, ending MLB Baseball on CBS. And on the 27th, after only one episode airing, South of Sunset on CBS. The show was heavily promoted during the 1993 World Series by CBS. However, only the pilot of South of Sunset ever aired, and it wasn't even to the entire country. It was played after the World Series. The October 27th premiere was preempted by several West Coast stations, including KCBS in Los Angeles. It was preempted by news coverage of wildfires in Malibu. Los Angeles was burning.
Yeah. Breaking news. Fire in California. Who cares? I mean, I care, but like, we don't need to report on it. It's a thing that happens.
It was more rare in the 90s. And disappoint, or at least, yeah, it was
That's because everyone was vaccinated for wildfires back then.
I was going to say global warming, but disappointed by the ratings of the pilot and unwilling to give it a chance to build a fan base, CBS immediately cancels the show. Like, how messed up is that?
It's very messed up, honestly.
Like,
but they must have watched it and gone, yeah, okay, it wasn't good.
I feel like when I was looking at it, it's like there's like 2 or 3 of the 4 or 5 person cast are like actors that you would know. Oh, or not you, but like people in general.
not me.
But I mean, it's interesting because like, you know, Doctor Who, the British show that's been on for over 50 years.
Doctor Huh?
Exactly. Dr. Wynn. It's about a
chiropractor. It goes, no.
Dr. Wynn, he's Korean.
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. I couldn't think of where that name was from. Where was I going with that? Oh, that originally premiered the day of the JFK assassination in the UK. So it was like preempted by JFK assassination.
Yes, because fire in California is as newsworthy as the president being killed.
Yeah, but still, it's like that show somehow got a second chance.
Fair enough.
In the box office, on the 1st, we have Cool Runnings. On the 3rd, we have Demolition Man. On the 13th, we have Rudy, Andrew's favorite. And on the...
Is that the one with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
No, that's the one with Sean Astin.
Oh, that's Radio. Sorry.
Yeah, close though. It's both football movies.
And start with R.
And start with R. And there's some sort of... do we still use the word handicap?
I don't know, so I'm not going to try.
Fair enough. Because Rudy was short. On the 15th, the Beverly Hillbillies movie. And on the 29th, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Spooky. I hate that movie. On the Billboard charts, number 1 for October 1993, in from September, and for the whole month is Dream Lover by Mariah Carey. And for the last week in October of 1993, at number 2, we have I Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That by Meatloaf. Number 3, All That She Wants by Ace of Base. Number 7, Whoop, There It Is by Tag Team. Number 9, Again by Janet Jackson. Number 11, What Is Love by Hathaway. This is the... yes. What is love, love, love? Maybe don't hurt me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan SNL sketch where they just bob
and then he breaks the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep pointing to each other, and
that started out as a sketch and became the movie A Night at the Roxbury, right?
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't remember the title of that movie. Number 12, If by Janet Jackson. Number 15, Crying by Aerosmith. Number 17, I Get Around by Tupac. Number 18, Shoop by Salt and Pepper. Number 20, No Rain by Blind Melon. Do you remember that one?
I don't. I'm reading the lyric and I don't remember it.
I can't remember it either.
Wow. Now I recognize it.
I don't understand why I sleep all day. And I start to complain when there's no rain. Oh, wow, this is very tone deaf. There's no rain. You really don't remember that song?
No, not at all. I was looking it up after this.
I understand. Yeah, I can't. No, it's so clear in my head, but I cannot translate that into sound.
I was thinking. I know the listeners maybe don't know this, but I get your notes ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just says, What Is Love? One says SNL, Will Ferrell and Christ Kattan sketch.
I would blame that on autocorrect, but that's not how that works.
Kattan.
I also spelled Ferrell wrong.
What if it said Christ Satan by accident?
That would be better. No. Number 23, Soul to Squeeze by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Hello, everybody. I'm Steampunk Link.
And I'm Emmy Zero.
And we are the hosts of the SNEScapades podcast, a chronological journey through the North American Super Nintendo library, 3 games-ish at a time. We play them briefly, judge them harshly, and rank them.
As we do that, we go into the history of the games in question, who made them, when they were made, and any interesting stories that surround them. And we'll also probably sprinkle in a few bits of leftist politics here and there.
Just look for SNEScapades on Anchor or your favorite podcast app. You can also check us out on honestpiranha.com. We hope to see you there, and play it loud.
Now let's toss across the pond to our friends Gaz and Dange at the Insanely Dangerous Retro Podshow for what was happening way back when in the UK.
Good evening. Here are your headlines for October 1993 in the UK. QVC launches the first television shopping channel in the UK. Relight My Fire hits UK number 1. True Romance hits the UK cinemas.
If you like your retro with a 90s flavour, don't be stupid, do yourself a favour. Download an episode of Namely 90s, you'll find it fresher than a pair of pine trees. Acquaint yourselves with host called Brandrew. Listen closely as they both run through TVs, movies, tunes of the day. Pay attention to what they have to say. Our time is up and we have to go. The Insanely Dangerous Retro Show. What am I dangerous?
Wow. I mean, absolutely. That's, I feel like I have to say something like go, namely, go, namely, go. Let's send it back to the namely 90s boys.
And if you're interested in following up on those headlines, you can check out the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show on your favorite podcasting app. You'll also find that Andrew and I are doing a fun segment at the end of their episode called Quotely 90s, where we give them a quote and see if they could figure out what we're going to be talking about on the following Monday. So an extra reason to go and listen and get an idea of what will be coming up on Namely 90s.
And now back to the show.
I don't think we've really had any mid episode breaks this
No, we haven't. Once you find me Madonna's book, then we will have something to talk about.
Have you Googled those photos? You should probably.
Let's give them something to talk about. What about love?
Keep your safe search on. But we do have our Halloween questions. The final one for this month is something we already did. What is your least favorite Halloween candy?
Oh, no.
I swear I had another one for this. Do you... Wow.
Yeah. Improv. There's got to be something here about Halloween.
What is the best jack-o'-lantern pattern you've ever carved or seen?
I was thinking of going along those lines. I don't remember. I think I just did like basic ones, like your basic jack-o'-lantern. The reason I was always into pumpkins is because my mom would always roast the seeds with some salt. And that was like fresh roasted pumpkin seeds were always so good. Mm-hmm. And of course, I just remember the food component. I wasn't very good at carving pumpkins, but I never got really into it. What about you? Did you do anything cool?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I did not. I mean, back in the 90s, they had like those books that you'd buy at the store that came with the little crappy, like serrated knife that's like smaller than your finger. And you're supposed to like dot everything out. There was a cool cat one that we did. It was like a cat on a half moon. I when I was older, I recall doing the Star Trek, the Delta symbol. I was like, that looks pretty cool because I'm a giant nerd.
That's cool. And now you don't have to put real candles in them because they make those battery candles that are just as good.
Yeah, and that cool. Like turn on automatically. And
yeah, boy, things have come a long way.
Right. And they shine brighter like a diamond.
Thank you for doing that, because if you didn't, I was going to say that.
And also
like a diamond. Anyway,
maybe this will go in the middle, but if you didn't hear it already, it's that's probably what you heard. It's SNEScapades. Andrew and I are on their. It's like a celebratory episode. They've reviewed 200 games on their show, SNEScapades. That's Steampunk Link and ME0. We Steampunk Link, you may remember back from our 1-year anniversary episode. He was the guy that was talking about having like a 90s pavilion or theme park or convention. So we kind of fleshed that idea out a little bit further, and he took the ball and pushed it all the way during this episode where he's having multiple guests on to talk about SNES games, Super Nintendo games, and just shoot the 90s stuff with him and Emmy. And
it was good fun.
Yeah, that's out today. So when you're done listening to this, or even right now, just type the search engine SNEScapades. I believe is how they like to pronounce it, because it makes more sense that way.
One of the last things recorded in California together.
Oh yeah, Andrew was here when we did that. That's crazy. That was like months ago at this point. Mm-hmm. Anywhere. Yeah, check that out. Tell them we sent you. You could find Steampunk Link at On Twitter. I don't know. Check out our Twitter. We'll link to it.
We'll hit them up on ours.
Yeah.
We'll tweet their Twitter.
I feel like I should have been more prepared for that, but
Tweeter.
It was fun to go on and talk to them. We definitely talked way too long with them for just having like a 10-minute bit. I think we at least talked for a half hour. So
I think we could talk for even longer. Yeah, it would not be hard.
It'll be interesting to see what they cut out. Anyway, congratulations to them for 200 episodes or 200 reviews over however many episodes.
I feel like they do 2 an episode, maybe.
Yeah, I think I saw like 73 was there when the actual review was. So this is more of just a celebratory episode. I don't know. I honestly haven't heard it yet. I'm waiting for you to. I'm waiting with all of you just to listen. Anyway, anywhere you want to go? I
mean, I have to say, I'm shocked by the Got Milk thing because I actually do remember this commercial.
Me too. Oh, you're surprised that you remember. Well, hey, how'd you remember something?
Not only that, but
that should get it.
It was directed by Michael Bay.
Right.
I didn't see anything explode. I had no idea.
Did nothing explode in that commercial?
I don't think anything exploded.
He just needed that milk. Yeah. Do you want to take us back to Got Milk?
Yeah. It's the there's oh gosh.
Well, let's start out. It was
you explain.
It was a huge advertising campaign in the 90s. It's just like a simple black billboard with white lettering that says "Got Milk."
Got Milk
with a question mark. The first big commercial is what we're kind of remembering in this episode. Like Andrew said, it was directed by Michael Bay. They're basically this guy, I think he's working at a library or something, and he's listening to the radio, and the radio DJ's like, if you answer this question, you get $10,000. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? Although it didn't really sound like that.
Nice radio shtick.
Thank you. And the guy, he's like, he just took a bite of like a peanut butter sandwich that he was making, just peanut butter, no jelly. White bread, very, very dry. And so he calls in, and I think he called in first, and then they asked the question after he took a bite of the peanut butter sandwich. And he's like, it's Aaron Barr. And then the guy's like, what? Oh boy. And he's like trying to pronounce Aaron Burr correctly, because like the wing of the museum he's in, or library or whatever, is like littered with Aaron Burr memorabilia, which is kind of weird. Might have been a Hamilton museum. But the DJ is like, can't hear him clearly with his mouth full of a peanut butter sandwich. He's like, you have X many seconds to say it. Right? Yes, thank you. And then he tries to take a drink of his milk, because that's the drink that he's drinking, but there's only a few drops of milk left, and he's just like, oh boy.
See, the reason that commercial doesn't work for me is because things other than milk would solve the same problem. The point of advertising is to show people how milk solves their specific problem, or how specifically milk is the solution to the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
also, should he be eating in a library?
That's a fair point, but wasn't he the one working there?
I don't know.
But I don't know. The 90s is kind of when advertisement went from being, this is how this helps you, to more like stunt advertising /
you'll remember this because it's weird.
Yeah, odd advertising, like the thing that just like, did you see this in like a month or two ago? The Skittles guy from the weird. Do you remember the Skittles commercial where there's that guy that's like, looks like he's a court jester, or from a Victorian era jester? where he has like a bowl cut and he's like,
no,
peaches and cream or something like that. Yeah, I'll have to send it to you, but yeah, I think you'd recognize it. But
that's odd.
He took over TikTok because he did this little jig in the commercial, and he dressed back up in his outfit from
TikTok,
like 10, 15 years ago, and he ticked out with his talk out, you know.
Who hasn't? I'll tell you
he got his dance trending on TikTok, and now he's a TikTok star for however long that lasts.
Wow, not very.
Peaches and cream or berries and cream. I don't remember. But he had like a weird voice, and he looked pale and pasty and Victorian garb.
I'm glad to say I've never seen that. That's very odd.
I'm fairly sure you've seen it.
Was it directed by Michael Bay?
Possibly, or Michael Bay's equivalent from.
I mean, obviously, this is before Michael Bay was like famous, right?
Yes, this was, I think, one of his like first.
Wasn't Roland Emmerich like the Michael Bay of the 90s?
Yes, and that all of his movies were giant spectacles of explosions.
Yeah.
What is Michael Bay's first credit? I don't remember. He did Bad Boys in 1995.
Oh, he did Bad Boys? Oh gosh, I have respect for him now. Dang it.
And The Rock.
That's the one with
Sean Connery.
Yes. Is that the one where they do that stupid dance? No, that's a different one. That's it's got that one's Sean Connery and Laser Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's what it was.
Wow.
It's the same thing as The Rock.
Little Lad was the berries and cream dance.
Oh, okay.
Which I will send to you later.
Hope everyone's enjoying this thoroughly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was brilliant. Like the Got Milk, it was simple. It was concise. It was to the point. Unlike, you know, me kind of stalling so I can send you whatever I'm trying to send you.
Yeah, the whole milk industry is kind of weird. Like, people don't really need milk as much as they like you to think. It's a little different.
Yeah, but I would say milk has helped me grow tall and strong with my, you know, my parents were not as tall as I was, and
milk, not a sponsor.
Yeah. Got Milk.
Is that where the whole milk mustache thing started around that time? I feel like too.
I think that was the next one after the Got Milk.
Well, it was still Got Milk, but there was a milk mustache.
Yeah, there might have been crossover. That might have been like the end. Oh yeah.
Milk stash.
The milk stash. But yeah, there's a Rick and Morty episode where Jerry's in a computer simulation and somehow thinks that got apples or not got apples. Eat apple? No. Need apples? ? Because he was in advertising. He thought that was a good idea. He's like, the milk industry does not have a monopoly on simple rhetorical questions. That one got me. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see. So we should talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas because everyone our age like creams their pants over it. Berries and creams their pants over it.
It's true though. Gosh.
I mean, find me one goth chick that wasn't like, oh my god, I'm Jack Skellington.
Why do you think we like it so much? And by we, I mean not me at all.
And not me either. Well, it was Tim Burton-esque. Or possibly Tim Burton-y.
It was Tim Burton.
Was it Tim Burton? Wasn't he just a producer? Or no, it's Coraline that he's never actually touched.
Tim Burton was in it.
Wasn't he Jack Skellington?
And produced it. He was Zero.
Oh, the dog.
Danny Elfman played Jack Skellington. Isn't Danny Elfman a composer?
He is a composer, but it's a musical, I believe. Catherine O'Hara was Sally.
Is it technically? It's not a stop motion, is it? Yeah, it is.
It is. Yes, because it's. I believe they're like clay models. Stop motion animated musical dark fantasy holiday film is how Wikipedia
those words don't go together. American stop motion animated musical dark fantasy holiday film.
And it was produced and conceived by Tim Burton, but directed by Henry Selick. I think
Tim Burton just did like a ton of acid and damaged his brain.
Nah, I mean, possibly. He has a weird vision for things like Batman 89 and the follow-up Batman Returns.
Maybe he was dropped on his head as a child.
Or definitely the acid theory. One too many trips, but like
I think we tried to show it to the kids, or they like saw some clip of it and they were too scared.
No, like so it was when my dad still worked at Microsoft, which was probably when I was like 3 or 4. They had a company Halloween party that you brought the kids to, and I was there, and it was playing in the background, and I was like, I was 3 or 4, and it was fucking terrified of this movie. Like it was creepy, and the head came off, and they all looked like zombies and corpses, and just like everything about it, I hated it, and it scarred me. That was one of my first scarring memories that I could remember.
I mean, it seems just a little gratuitous, a little unnecessary.
Really creepy. And I play Kingdom Hearts, and this is technically a Disney movie. So even even getting through the Halloween Town levels in Kingdom Hearts was hard for me, because it was just like, I do not like this. I can't. I don't know how to put it in more words than that. It's terrible. Oh, Chris Sarandon was the speaking voice for Jack Skellington.
Oh, I see. I didn't know there was a singing and speaking voice.
Right. Well, musical.
I suppose that makes sense.
I guess. Or he sings a lot. I don't remember. I think it's a musical. Did I say it's a musical?
No thanks.
Yeah, musical dark fantasy. Stop motion animated. Yeah. Namely 90s. Say no to The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Namely 90s gives The Nightmare Before Christmas 2 thumbs down.
Feel free to tell us on Twitter at Namely90s with 90s how wrong we are. But, we're right. We should also talk about... I want to talk about them. Well, no, it doesn't matter, because they didn't record that. Quotely 90s.
I remember the movie Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
The other ones I don't remember seeing at all.
Well, let's talk Cool Runnings.
Jamaican bobsled team, based on a true story,
Jamaican
or is it entirely
bobsled team?
Is it entirely true, or is it based on a true story?
Based on a true story.
Okay.
I think you have to say that when it's not a documentary.
Right. Yeah. So basically, some Jamaican people who have probably never seen snow or ice form a bobsled team, and then are presumably successful, or more successful than expected.
With John Candy as their coach.
It
is loosely based on the true story of the Jamaica national bobsled team's debut in competition during the 1988 Winter Olympics.
88, good year.
Yeah. That was the year you were born. Is the year I was not born.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun movie. It was definitely fun for the whole family. I was at Disney.
It was Disney, yes.
Disney likes a good uplifting sports movie, I'll tell you what, every once in a while.
Miracle on Ice.
Miracle on Ice was the Kevin Costner one also.
Was that not the one?
Field of Dreams?
Field of Dreams, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking whoever is in Miracle on Ice, that Kurt Russell.
How about the one when Dennis Quaid is like 50 and pitches in the MLB?
The Rookie. That was also a Disney movie. I watched that when I was at Disneyland.
Is that also
Disney World?
Is it also a bad procedural drama with Nathan Fillion?
I've not seen it to confirm that it's bad, but yes.
But yes.
Well, I watched every single episode of Castle, so I don't know if it's better or worse than that. I feel
Castle's one of those shows. It's like Old Faithful. Like it's just it's reliable. There's 1,000 episodes in syndication. I feel like if you've never seen it and you were just bored, you could watch that show for an eternity.
I heard The Rookie's better than Castle.
Well, it's kind of a low bar.
Right. But I guess, but not every episode's written like a mystery novel so that every twist is so obvious.
I feel like Castle is a low rent Bones.
Yes.
What it feels like to me.
Even down to the main characters. Not
also, Bones wasn't good, was it?
Not after like the fifth season. It went for 11 or 12.
Oi.
They kept having to kill off interns just so they can get new ones. And it turned one of them into a serial killer.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. And he was probably the most charismatic of any of the interns and then, just a long run of sad ones. Rudy, Sean Astin, football, inspirational, makes grown men cry. We
could use more of that in our society.
But not the right way of crying.
Oh.
No, I don't know. It's the manly cry. It's the one. This is the movie where you're like, yeah, I could shed a tear, Rudy.
That's terrible.
It's still toxic masculinity, but it's a football movie. Short kid wants to play football, and he does.
Plot twist, he does.
Demolition Man. That was.
I don't know it.
That was Sylvester Stallone. I always get it confused with Judge Dredd because it came out around the same time. He wears very similar outfits. It's set in the future. This one has Sandra Bullock, I believe, and Wesley Snipes, and what's his name? Rob Schneider.
Making copies.
Exactly. So Wesley Snipes is like a criminal that was cryo-frozen, and he gets unfrozen for some reason.
Yes. I just didn't recognize, for some reason I didn't recognize the name.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
is it like the future?
It's the future LA, I think.
Is this the one with the MDK thing?
Yeah,
is it that one? Okay. I do remember this, strangely enough.
And like in the future there's no like physical touching for sex. They wear like a hat. And then they get pleasure from sitting next to each other wearing this brain stimulus thing. And then Sly Stallone's like, yeah, let me show you Sandra Bullock. Because you can't have an action hero be in a movie without betting the lead woman.
You're right, exactly.
And yeah, she plays like this naive rookie that's trying to help him because he's also been cryo-frozen in case this criminal gets unfrozen.
Because someone who's unfamiliar with all the new protocols is clearly the person you want to be running around in futuristic Las Vegas.
Los Angeles, yeah.
Angeles.
Close enough. Speaking of Los Angeles, the Beverly Hillbillies had a movie.
And that concludes this week's episode of Namely 90s.
And if you remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Check the episode description for this week's supplemental Spotify playlist, curated by yours truly. Join us next week for the Podcast of Horror 2.
Podcast of Horror 2.
Featuring Janelle of That Girl Got Ghosted. I really should look this up because I've seen a couple episodes. It's on YouTube. We'll talk about it more next week when she's on, if she's on. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at Namely Andrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you would like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Jamaican Bobsled Team, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we will catch you next time.
Can I just record this bit and can we just edit it, please? Because I'm struggling.